My name is Jack, and my call is Kilo Alpha 4 Oscar Tango Bravo. And this morning I'm going to give you a virtual tour of the Auxcom room located in the Williamson County Public Safety Center. The Public Safety Center is located at 304 Beasley Drive, which is off Columbia Pike, just north of the Mac Hatcher Road. We are very fortunate here in Williamson County to have a state-of-the-art radio room inside of the Public Safety Center. During the design phase, WCARES Planning Committee members worked with the architect to include a state-of-the-art Auxcom room to support county operations. The Public Safety Center was designed to withstand a Category F5 tornado and still remain in operation. Not only is the Public Safety Center tough, but it's also beautiful, as shown by the various antennas all over the roof, both for public safety and for amateur radio. We have 5 towers on the top of the building, which gives us lots of flexibility in antenna placement. Here is a diagram of the antenna setup for Field Day 2018. For HF operation, we have a Mosley tri-band antenna and a hex beam multi-band antenna, and additionally 5 wire antennas covering multiple bands. We also have 4 VHF UHF dual band antennas. Now you've seen the antennas on the top of the building. Let me show you how we get the feed lines from those antennas to the points we need them inside the building. So let's start with the fire room. On the bottom left side of the patch panel are the 3 feed lines that come from the parking lot junction box. The other 7 antenna leads allows us to move various antennas to various rooms to suit our needs. If you look at this diagram, you will see how we had the antennas set up for Field Day 2018. Now here is the patch panel in the Auxcom room. With this panel, we are able to route the various antennas to the various locations in the building where we need them. This diagram shows the routing of the various coaxes to the rooms where we needed them for Field Day 2018. With your back to the door of the Auxcom room, here's a shot of the floor of the Emergency Operations Center. Each table will seat 9 people, and each position at that table has a computer assigned to it. There is a monitor that by default is hidden from view, but when needed, press a button and the monitor will rise up out of the table in front of you. At the head of each table, there's a large monitor that's hidden in this picture. When needed, you press a button and the monitor will come up out of the table so everyone at that table can see. At the front of the room, there's a 20-foot by 30-foot video monitor. It's capable of being separated into 5 different sections showing various video feeds. Now, with your back to the floor of the EOC, you will see the glass door to the Auxcom room. The person in the picture is Bill Jorgensen, the Director of Public Safety for Williamson County. This is a picture from inside the Auxcom room showing the floor of the Emergency Operations Center. As you can see, we are very close to the EOC floor and close to the action and ready to assist when needed. This is a wide-angle shot of the Auxcom room with all the chairs removed. There are 6 separate operating positions. I will cover each one of these positions one at a time, starting from the far left corner. The first position is dedicated to our Winlink operation. We have capabilities of operating 2 different modes of Winlink traffic. At the top of the screen, you will see the control heads for the VHF UHF radio And on the right side is the operating screen for the HF radio. We can operate with normal Winlink protocol using Winlink Express and Vera software. Or we can switch over to the WCARES program and use same radio, the same computer, but we use a different modem that gives us much higher speed to pass our message traffic. For HF operations, we can use the Kenwood 480 radio, and you can see the control head for that radio on the upper right-hand side. In the Winlink operation, we also have the capability of using amateur frequencies, using HF Vera, or we can switch to WCARES, which is the Department of Homeland Security system, and operate using a higher speed Pactor modem. On the left side, we have a Kenwood D700 for UHF VHF operation. And as we did with the head on the HF radio, we also put the control head up out of the way for VHF UHF. For VHF and UHF, we use Vera Packet, and they have one RMS node in Williamson County that we can access. And that location is in Nolensville off of Clovercroft Road. As far as the HF is concerned, that is more of a long haul means of communication. If we lost all of our internet capability locally, we could use the HF to get outside of the local area and still send and receive message traffic. The Public Safety Center is the host for a Winlink Pactor radio message server. This node acts as a gateway for the WCARES system to pass Winlink traffic to its final destination. The next position is dedicated to DMR, which stands for Digital Mobile Radio. It is another form of digital communications similar to Fusion and D-Star. The DMR screen you've seen is a remote screen. The radio itself is on the second floor in the radio room. We've got a Cat5 cable that comes from the radio room to the Auxcom room that hooks to that monitor you see, and the microphone also hooks to that. So we have a very clean installation, and just the monitor is all we need to look at. There is a big uptick in DMR activity, driven in part by TEMA's desire to use DMR as the primary communication source throughout the state. Williamson County is supporting this TEMA position by installing 2 DMR repeaters in the county. One is at Dolesville off the Clovercroft Road, and the other one is temporarily located at the Century Court Tower. DMR has their own set of language. It's instead of frequencies and channels, we're talking about zones and talk groups. My particular HT radio is set up, and I've got 19 zones, and within each of those zones, I have multiple talk groups that I can use. We also have a DMR talk group, very similar to our 505 Simplex VHF talk group, where WCARES members can use that to get on and communicate with each other without tying up the repeater system. In addition to the DMR repeaters in Williamson County, there is a DMR repeater at TEMA headquarters on Sidco Drive, and the network is increasing. They currently have DMR repeaters at Short Mountain, Lebanon, Bethpage, Cookville, and Chattanooga, and more and more are showing up as time goes by. In my opinion, I can see DMR becoming part of our capabilities during exercises or actual events. DMR is not that expensive to get into. You get a basic handy-talkie, which is DMR and analog, for a little over $200. The code plugs are readily available from other members of WCARES. You can create your own code plug, but in my case, I found it easier to use someone else's and then piggyback on their learning curve. The third position on this desk is the APRS system. It uses a Kenwood D710 VHF UHF radio and APRS IS-32 software. This software is used to identify locations of amateur radio operators in the area that are using APRS, as well as send short text messages to vehicles in the field. APRS is also good for the net control operator so they can see where stations are located. Instead of making a general call, they can identify a station in the area they need the assistance and direct the communications directly to that station. The power for these three workstations is provided by an Astron 50 amp power supply. We run the power output from the Astron to a Rig Runner 8-port distribution panel, and all of the radio equipment is hooked into the distribution panel by using power poles. The next station in our presentation is our primary HF station. The radio is an Auxcom 7600, and we have two separate antennas available for this radio. One is the tri-band Mosley beam, and the second is a DXCC wire antenna. Just behind the microphone, you'll see a gray box. That is an AB switch, so the operator can switch to whichever antenna gives the best reception for the particular band. To the right of the AB switch, you'll see the control head for a high-gain rotator control. It goes to the tower that has the tri-band beam on it, and the beam can be turned into the direction of where you want to send the traffic to or talk to. When you really need to get a message through, we have a Yaesu VL1000 kilowatt amplifier. Although everyone knows QRP is just as reliable. The fifth station is a combination fusion digital and analog radio using an Yaesu FTM 400DR. This station has the primary role of communicating to and from the deployed units in the field. It can be a high-level stress working area dealing with two frequencies and two modes simultaneously. The last station is our backup HF radio. It uses a Kenwood TS2000 and also has two feeds, one feed to a DXCC wire antenna and the other feed to a hex beam rotatable antenna. Once again, the gray box on top of the radio is an AB switch to change back and forth, and to the right of the radio is the control head for the rotator that supports the hex beam. As we did for the first three stations, the second three stations use an Astron 50 amp power supply connected to a Rig Runner 8-position distribution panel. All of the radio equipment on this table is also hooked up with power poles to the distribution panel. There are a few more goodies in the Auxcom room that are available for our use. We have two telephones for incoming and outgoing phone calls. The inbound number for the phone is located on the left desktop, and the number is 615-721-3029. Or if you are somewhere else in the building and need to talk to someone in the Auxcom room, you can use just the extension 3029. There is a control panel on the right desktop called a My Mix control. This allows us to listen to communications from various sources that are being used in the Emergency Operations Center. Finally, we have a large screen TV that allows us to keep up with the Weather Channel and other events that might be happening. We can also get direct feeds from the monitor in the Emergency Operations Center, giving us a truly bird's eye view of what's happening. You may have noticed some plaques on the wall above the long desktop. These are awards that have been won by members of WCARES operating various contests throughout the year. You will see on one of the plaques, there is a whisk broom hanging below it. That particular contest was the November Sweepstakes CW. And the CW operators worked all of the sections in North America to get a clean sweep. Congratulations to the crew. Available to the members of WCARES is a lending library. We have a large selection of ARRL manuals available to check out. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the Auxcom room and our capabilities at the Public Safety Center. We have been out of touch with everyone for the last 15 months, and I'm sure there's a lot of you watching this video who were not aware of this room and the capabilities we have. If you are watching and not a member of WCARES, I encourage you to go to our website, www.WCARES.org. Also, if you need additional information, you can contact me, Jack Cox, at my call sign, KA4OTB @gmail.com. Thank you for your time.